Welcome back, true believers. It's Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and I'm in the car heading down to one of my favorite LCSs here in the Baltimore area, Third Eye Comics in Annapolis, Maryland. This is their flagship station, and if you guys follow the channel, you know I go there just about every new comic book day week. Great shop. They've got a number of new comic books. In fact, that's what they're known for, is the new comic books, the ratios, the variants. I mean, they are loaded. Not to say that there are not other great shops here in the Baltimore area, but for new comic books and the ratios, man, you can't beat Third Eye Comics. And they do have multiple locations, but I choose to go down to their flagship station in Annapolis, Maryland. So I'm going to go down like I normally do on a normal new comic book day, just a little bit later, and I'm going to film all the new comics that are out this week and pick up a few things that I need on my wish list. We'll come back home, bag and board, and then we'll do a show and tell. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I just finished up here at Third Eye Comics, and I had a great time looking at all the new comic books. Picked up a bunch of stuff. You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home, bag and board everything, and then we'll do that show and tell. So stay tuned, and I'll be right back.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, guys, so I finally made it home and was able to shoot this show. I've been working so hard trying to get some of those HeroCon episodes out that I had to delay actually filming this right here. But I hope you enjoy this new comic book day. There were some pretty good books coming out this week, some not so great books, but I did pick up a few things. So the big book this week was the new Captain America that was coming out. And of course, I've already got that pre-ordered, at least the Brian Harvey main cover. But I did pick up a couple of variants, including this Chip Zdarsky, who is writing the book. This is his art for this cover right there. And I picked up this Rivals cover right there. This is an alternate Captain America from what I understand. I don't know anything about this because I haven't read it yet. And I think I'm looking here. Yeah. Oh, I had to get this one because I didn't see it early enough in my previews when I put in my preview, my pre-order months ago. But the Phil Lobos cover right here of Captain America is just spectacular. And those were all the ones I ended up picking up. Some of the other variants I just opted out of. I didn't really want them that much. But these were the Captain Americas, and I've heard some mixed reviews on this from some different online sources. So you guys will have to let me know in the comment section what you think about this new book as well. Now, on my pull list for Third Eye Comics is always Amazing Spider-Man. And they had this already pulled for me. I continue having this in my pull box simply to get my discount at the shop for all the comics I pick up on New Comic Book Day, even though I do pre-order this from my pre-order service M&M Comics. But I also picked up the, I think this is Del Auto cover as well. I think. I could be wrong on that. we'll see about that. I'll have to go back and check. But I did pick up this cool cover with the black cat right there. I thought that was spectacular. And I'm on and off again on the X-Men title. Jed MacKay, I don't care about the stories, to be honest with you, but I've kind of fallen in love with the Nitho Diaz artwork. And I always check to see if he's actually going to be the artist on there. And his art is very much like a Ryan Stegman, but I think it's a little bit more dynamic. And so I picked up this issue right here. And I did pick up Bring on the Bad Guys, Green Goblin. I've got the regular cover already pre-ordered, but I wanted to pick up the Todd Knock cover right there. Todd Knock is somebody that I just saw down at Heroes Con, and I got several different books signed by him, including the Bring on the Bad Guys Doom book with his Dr. Doom cover. And I did pick up the variant of this that has Sister Sorrow on there as well. Now, a title that I haven't been really reading at this point has been The Immortal Thor, even though they've got some great covers by Alex Ross. And I'll be honest, I had to get this. I think this is the last issue in Immortal Thor, and this cover by Alex Ross was spectacular, so I went ahead and picked that up, more to read it than anything, but also because of that great cover. And speaking of Thor, and I heard very high recommendations on Godzilla vs. Thor. I didn't get the regular cover, and I didn't pre-order this either, but I definitely wanted to get the Walt Simonson cover right there. But I've heard some good things about this story. Jason Aaron's actually writing it, and he brings into some of his old Thor storylines, it sounds like. So good recommendations for this right here. But like I said, I had to get that Walt Simonson cover, no matter how good or bad the story might be. Now, this is one that I believe the creators are going to be at Third Eye, but I'm not really familiar with them. This is, how do you say that? Gehenna? I have no idea how you say this. But this was a new book this week, and I think the creators are going to be here either sometime in the next few weeks, I think, at Third Eye Comics for a signing on this book. Beats me. I don't know much about this book, but I'd heard a little bit of buzz about it. And whenever Third Eye gets somebody to come into the store, in this case, I'm not going to be able to go there. I'm going to be out of town, but I may have them pull a book to get signed for me there. I don't know. It honestly doesn't really make much difference to me at this point, but it's kind of cool. I went ahead and pulled it mostly because the creators were going to be at Third Eye. And I'm looking at the books here, and that's all the new comic books that I picked up for this particular week. Most everything else that was coming out this week was already pre-ordered, and you'll see that at some point with an M&M Comics unboxing at some point. That's my monthly shipment of most of my new comics. But I did go back to the back issue stands, and I went ahead and picked up another issue of Teen Titans Go, #1. Definitely, at this point, I'd like pulling some of these kids books like this, that #1s like that, even though this is not the original series. The original series, the #1 was pretty good, but it was such a kids comic that you don't get much. I mean, the value is really in the fact that if you can keep that book at a high grade, being a kid's book. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this. But I went ahead and picked up another copy of that. And I did go over to Bring on the Bad Guys Doom, and I picked up the Sister Sorrow cover on this. This is a cover that I couldn't find when it came out, I guess, a couple weeks ago. But I found that this time, and I went ahead and picked up a copy of that. Now, the last thing I did pick up at Third Eye this time, there was a signing that I got to go to. You got to see this show, I believe, last Wednesday for New Comic Book Day, my show that day. And it was the signing with Chris Condon, the writer on Ultimate Wolverine. And I actually, with my weird work schedule right now, I was able to go to that signing, but I'd already dropped off a few books for Third Eye to get signed for me just in case, and they had the books ready for me, so I picked them up on this New Comic Book Day. And we've got Ultimate Universe, the regular cover right there, and I gave them this, and you can see Chris Condon's signature right there, but up here at the top is Dennis Ruiz. Is that right? Yeah, it's, I keep saying that. It's Dennis Camp. I don't know why I keep calling Dennis Ruiz. I don't know why I've done that. I think I did that on one of the other videos too. But it's Dennis Camp. I'm losing my mind, guys. But he had signed this a few weeks ago when he was part of this big group of writers that had come in the Third Eye, and I'd got him to sign this as well. Chris also signed the regular cover to Ultimate Wolverine #1. And I'd already gotten my other copy of this signed when I met him in person. So all of these I'd already had extra copies of. These were all extras, but I wanted to make sure that these were the 3 that I would have wanted the most. Just in case I couldn't make it to that signing, I wanted to make sure these 3 were signed. Now, I did get everything else signed as well, including the duplicates to these, but this is the one I really wanted, and it was this homage to Marvel Presents, I believe, issue number 78, the Barry Windsor Smith Weapon X storyline, the cover of Wolverine out in the woods. This is a homage to that, and that's a very popular cover there. And you can see Chris's autograph right down here at the bottom. That looks really nice. And guys, that is everything I picked up from this new Comic Book Day week. Some little bit older books, some signed books, and definitely some new books this week. So you guys will have to let me know in the comment section what books you picked up for this particular new comic book week. What things are you reading right now? Or some of these the books that you really like right now? You got to let me know in the comments section. And if you enjoyed today's video, definitely give me a like, slap the subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future episodes coming up each and every week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. Plus, I want to say I'm still working on some of the shows from Heroes Con, and I will be putting those out ahead of some of the regular scheduled episodes, my CGC unboxings, comic book hauls, things like that. I will be putting those out, so you'll be seeing a lot of those over the next week or so. I will still, on these Wednesdays, guys, I will still have this show at 8 o'clock, but at 10 o'clock in the morning for at least a couple weeks, I'm probably going to have that extra Heroes Con creator signing show happening. So it'll be 2 shows on Wednesdays for a little bit. Anyway, guys, that's why I asked you to hit that notification bell. Hope you'll be notified when those shows come out. Anyway, guys, take care. I will see you for the next episode. Until then, remember, every comic has a story.